like rules are great for giving people ideas for things, but actually, what we've discovered is people who only stick to rules actually end up massively hindered later in life. So the more access to free play that we have, the better. There's an entire book play by Dr. Stuart Brand. I think it's Dr. Stuart Brand, and he's talking about how some Silicon Valley firms and stuff, they'll look into job applicants, their past history to see, how much time have they spent just playing, taking things apart and trying to put things back together and things like that, because actually they end up able to problem solve in much more efficient ways. And I think a lot of the time in fitness, I guess we're always scared of people getting injured. Like there's always this, well, I don't want anything bad to happen, I don't want anything dangerous to happen, so let's make sure we tick all of these boxes. And I think that really stifles all of the play that can happen in fitness and all of the creativity. So, you take squats, so people teach squats in a certain way. You want your knees to track slightly wider than your toes, for example, or this is before we put any weight, just hinge your hips first, or some people will have different only squat to 90 or don't put your knees over your toes or anything like that.
I'm obviously going to stay quiet during this because I will just slate all of those people.
Oh, I'm going to get a punch while I keep talking. But yeah, they have all the different, and if you don't follow this system, it's really, really bad. And then you do all your squats in the gym like that, and then you go home and you try and put your shopping in the cupboard and you bend over. You never squat down. You never do a perfect squat down to get the stuff out of the bag. You just reach or lean and you start moving in every weird direction. But
that's when you put your back out.
Yeah, then you throw. That's pretty much every time we have people come to us in pain. It's like, well, yeah, I was reaching up to that top shelf and then my back went.
I was tying my shoelace.
Yeah, and it's all those positions are never the same as what you did in the gym, but in the gym you said, I have to stick to these very strict rules. And where did the rule come from? Most of the time it came from...
But they just made it up.
They made it up, or sometimes there's even a valid rule, like the squat is probably... Well, if you've got a barbell over your head and there's 200 kilos on it, and then you squat down, maybe actually this... now it's like, well, probably don't laterally tilt your spine because you're going to take all the weight onto one side and it's way above your head, so your center of mass is way off. So this is what makes sense there. And then they go, all right, well, let's just tell everyone to do that. And well, not everyone is doing that. Not everyone's even aspiring to do that one thing with the barbell. And actually, shouldn't we have more options when we don't have the barbell over our head to be able to do whatever it is that we want to do?
So the word I pick up on there is options. The more movement options you've got, the less chance you've got of getting injured when something goes wrong. Because then your brain has been, your brain has had information from your body in these other places, in these other positions and ranges. So when something goes wrong, it doesn't just freak out. Because what happens is, if you just train in position constantly, like let's take the squat, and you do the traditional, the knees get slightly pushed out, which is crazy, because your knees should track directly over your toes. Too many people are trying to push out and externally rotate. Whenever you get to a certain depth, your femurs have to internally rotate to go lower. But I'm not going to get into dissecting a squat, but if people do a squat a certain way, whatever way they decide to squat, and that's all they ever do, when something goes wrong, say a leg buckles, they end up getting usually really injured because the brain freaks out. Because it goes, holy crap, I haven't been here before, I'm getting all this new information from these positions, I know this is going wrong, so it tries to just put the brakes on, and usually that's when muscles will overly engage and rip or tense. Or so what happens is, if you train these positions, like if you get yourself strong in weirder positions, sort of unusual positions according to the usual fitness industry positions, you're giving yourself options. So you might actually come away with a sprain instead of tear.